Y'all live on Facebook. Say what's up real quick, man.
What's going on? What's going on, Dante Nation fans? Bo Mac.
Bo Mac, Terrence Crawford training right here.
Watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Terrence Crawford, he claps back in response to Mikey Garcia basically trying to trash Terrence Crawford's resume. This doesn't surprise anyone. We knew Terrence Crawford was going to respond, and he usually comes back with fire, as he did in his recent post responding to Mikey Garcia. Now, once again, if you guys missed the video I did, check it out. It's a really good video. I'll put the link in the description box. Mikey Garcia, he basically did an interview talking about Errol Spence, and for unknown reasons, he decides to trash Terrence Crawford's resume. But I shouldn't say unknown reasons, because the reason why he did it, he was trying to explain why he decided to fight Errol Spence as opposed to facing Terrence Crawford. So Mikey Garcia, he started to talk about Terrence Crawford's resume. He tried to discredit Terrence Crawford for fighting against Amir Khan next. He tried to discredit him for knocking out Jose Benavidez, which I really don't understand that at all. But once again, Mikey Garcia, he's saying this is the reason why he chose to fight Errol Spence and not Terrence Crawford. Now, the interesting thing is, a couple months ago, Mikey Garcia, he used another reason why he didn't want to fight Terrence Crawford. He said he didn't like Terrence Crawford's style. He said all Terrence Crawford's going to do is move around the ring. That's pretty interesting, because that's exactly how he fought against Orlando Salido. And I mentioned Orlando Salido because that was the name that Terrence Crawford mentioned when he responded to Mikey Garcia. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up this tweet. Terrence Crawford, he starts off with a LOL emoji. He says, "Stop it, don't do that to yourself. We know all about the great fighters you fought. I'ma just let you focus on your fight. Just don't quit like you did with Salido. I'll be watching." Now, for those of you guys who don't know too much about the Salido fight against Mikey Garcia, Mikey, he suffered a broken nose around the 10th or 11th round, and he ended up quitting in that fight because he suffered the broken nose. Now, the broken nose did come from a headbutt, and Mikey Garcia was clearly winning the fight. He knocked down Salido 4 times, but the interesting thing is the fight kind of reminded me a little bit of Anthony Joshua versus Carlos Takam. Because just like that fight, in the Salido-Mikey Garcia fight, Mikey was winning, dominating the fight earlier on. But as we got closer to the end of the fight, Salido started to do better and better and better. And this is how a lot of pressure fighters fight. Sometimes they'll lose some of the first couple rounds, and then they'll try to start walking down their opponents in the later rounds, in the championship rounds, the deeper waters. So the last 2 or 3 rounds before they stopped the fight had actually got really competitive. It was like a 50-50 fight, at least for those last couple rounds. And then Team Garcia stopped the fight. Now, what makes this pretty relevant is Mikey Garcia did another interview about a week ago where he was asked a question. Will your corner throw in the towel if things are not going your way against Errol Spence? And Mikey Garcia was very honest. He said, I don't ever think about that, but if things are not going my way, obviously there's no reason for me to risk my health, and my corner, they're going to do what's right. But I expect the referee to do that before my corner would do that. That's what he said. Now, with that being said, going back to Terrence Crawford, it's very important to note that Terrence Crawford, he's been calling out Mikey Garcia for quite some time now. Matter of fact, Terrence Crawford, he ran into Robert Garcia, Mikey Garcia's brother, and he told Robert Garcia, I'm going to knock your brother out. He didn't say I'm going to knock him out. He said, I would knock him out. So the fact that Terrence Crawford has called out Mikey Garcia, the fact that Terrence Crawford is ranked higher than Mikey Garcia on every single pound-for-pound list, it would seem that Mikey Garcia would want to fight Terrence Crawford eventually. He's not interested in fighting Terrence Crawford now, but once again, Mikey Garcia is fighting against Errol Spence, so you cannot really take any credit away from him because he is facing top 2, the most feared welterweight in the division. Let's see how he does in that fight. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is a type of fight that can end Mikey Garcia's career. Or Mikey Garcia could shock the world and pull off an upset. I just remember Fernando Vargas and David Reed, when they got knocked out by Felix Trinidad, they were never the same again. You know, in my last video talking about Mikey Garcia trashing Terence Crawford's resume, I said this fight kind of reminds me of Shane Mosley versus Oscar De La Hoya. Because a lot of people don't know this, but Shane Mosley moved up 2 weight classes and he beat Oscar De La Hoya when Oscar De La Hoya was pound for pound #1, the best. Now, there were some people in the comment section that said, well, Shane Mosley was juicing. He was on the PEDs when he beat Oscar De La Hoya. Let me clear this up so you guys understand. Shane Mosley, he was on PEDs when he fought De La Hoya in the rematch 3 years later. He wasn't using any PEDs when he beat Oscar De La Hoya the first time, when once again, Oscar De La Hoya was pound for pound the best fighter in the world. So it's pretty ironic when you think about it, because actually Shane Mosley did better when he was off the juice than when he fought Oscar De La Hoya on the juice. Now, just speaking of PEDs, it's pretty funny because Oscar De La Hoya, when he fought Fernando Vargas was also on PEDs, and Oscar De La Hoya, he knocked him out. Shane Mosley had also went into that rematch against Oscar De La Hoya coming off of 2 losses to Vernon Forrest. But something else to note is Shane Mosley, he also beat Oscar De La Hoya as an amateur as well. I just want to clear all that up so you guys know the facts, since once again people mention it in the comment section. But going back to Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, like I said, this fight can end many different ways. Mikey could shock the world, pull off an upset. Maybe he can go 12 rounds and still be the same Mikey Garcia, or he could end up like a David Reed or Fernando Vargas, losing to Felix Trinidad. Let's see what happens, guys. Some people also compared this fight to Guillermo Rigo moving up 2 weight classes to fight against Lomachenko. That's a fair comparison as well. The only difference is Lomachenko is more of a boxer than Errol Spence is. Errol Spence is coming for blood. He's coming to knock out Mikey Garcia. But in all fairness, even though Lomachenko was boxing Rigo, he did make him quit. So we'll see what happens March 16th. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, accuracy, reflex, head movement, and striking technique. Train every time, everywhere with the Focus Ball.